Stay savage, your boy ShinoBeenTrill. What's poppin'? Today we are back with another Naruto Ninja breakdown. In the last episode, we talked about the boy Naruto Uzumaki from part 1. In today's episode, we're gonna be talking about the boy Sasuke Uchiha for part 1. So if you guys have like recommendations, if you guys have characters you want to see in Naruto Ninja breakdown, make sure you leave those in the comment section below. That way I know what you want to see. In the last episode, we had a lot of different recommendations, but Sasuke Uchiha was probably the most picked one. We did have a lot of Neji, a lot of Shikamaru, had a lot of Kakashi, and a lot of Rock Lee. But Sasuke was the one that stood out the most as I was scrolling through the comments. That shit was like everywhere. So if you guys have any recommendations, let me know. If you guys are excited about today's episode, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe.
Whipping all this dope up in the trap house. We fuck all you bitches at the trap house. I can't trust you, I can't give you real address. I can't trust you, I can't give you real address. It don't mean that be like Jerry Stacker. I might fall in love with my trap house.
Alright, so we're going to talk about Sasuke Uchiha, a person that was brought up in the darkness. Well, not necessarily, because for a long time he did have his parents, but just to come home one day and your parents to be completely gone, no longer in sight, you know, that's like waking up one day and everybody's dead, or you come home from school like Sasuke did, everybody's dead and your brother's sitting there in a pool of blood with a sinister look, or standing on a telephone pole like a psychotic demon. That's just going to traumatize you. If it doesn't, then you probably have a fucked up imagination yourself. Now, if you look at Sasuke Uchiha was named after Sasuke Sarutobi. His father named him after Sasuke Sarutobi because he believed that if he had the same name as Sasuke, maybe one day he would grow up to be a great ninja just like Sasuke Sarutobi. Now, in fact, that actually came true, but Sasuke went through his trials and tribulations to become that great ninja. He did a lot of things that were pretty questionable in the village as well as the shinobi world. He even got to like different points where people wanted to kill him off, and he basically went at all the 5 Kages. Now, that's for a later Sasuke. So we're going to talk about part 1 Sasuke with this one. So basically we have Sarutobi Sensei, who is a descendant of Sasuke Sarutobi, basically taking Sasuke in, training him. I thought that was ironic because he was named after Sasuke Sarutobi and then he got trained by Sarutobi Sensei, which is the 3rd Hokage or Hiruzen. I thought that was pretty cool, you know. I thought that was really dope that they connected, you know, the original Sasuke Sarutobi with the 3rd Hokage Sarutobi and basically connected him to Sasuke. That way his name basically connects with each other. So now even at an early age, we have the boy Itachi, right? He was always mastering different techniques. He was learning different things rather quickly. But even just because Sasuke was in his shadow, Sasuke wasn't completely like Itachi. He wasn't excelling as fast as Itachi was. He still was picking up different things rather quickly. Now we have Sasuke's father, who is Fugaku Uchiha. Basically, Fugaku taught Sasuke how to use the fireball jutsu. Now, fireball jutsu is a pretty difficult technique. For Sasuke Uchiha, that was no joke. That was nothing serious. He learned it in a week. To have somebody learn that jutsu in a week shows that he had to be a brother of Itachi Uchiha. Now, Itachi learned it a lot sooner than Sasuke did, but his father still, you know, he saw it as like something that was great, something that was amazing, because his sons were learning different techniques rather quickly, way faster than a normal ninja. But the thing was, Fugaku stated that he didn't want Sasuke to follow the same path as Itachi. I think at some point, Fugaku kind of felt like Itachi had like this dark side, like Itachi was doing something he had no business doing, or he was always like lurking, always plotting in the shadows. I think at one point Fugaku felt that presence, and he just didn't want Sasuke to grow up like that. He didn't want Sasuke to be like that, so he's like constantly pressuring Sasuke, letting him know, hey, don't follow the path of your brother, you know, do your own thing, you're your own person. You know, he basically pushed that ideal into Sasuke. Now, one thing I would like to say with that is, it's like really hard for Sasuke not to be like his brother, because as you know, Itachi is well known and well respected throughout the shinobi world as well as the village as one of like the most skilled ninjas to ever reach the academy. And now you go into this ninja academy, you know, you're excelling really well, you're getting like 98s, 99s on tests and shit, but you have a person like Itachi who always get perfect 100s. Like, this man literally passed every test. He even felt like him being at the school was just child's play, like he wasn't learning anything. He said he learned more hanging out with Shisui. Now, to be Sasuke Uchiha, to be his brother, you know, you have a high ass standard to live in, and like a lot of people looking at you like, you know, okay, you got to do better than him, or you got to do as great as he did. And the thing was, Sasuke was very like, he was very skilled, but he wasn't exactly like Itachi, and like that's something that kind of ate him up growing up as a kid. Now, which was like the icing on the cake for that was him growing up in the academy, you know, him being in the shadow of Itachi, but then later coming home to finding his whole clan slaughtered by Itachi's hand. Like, now that right there kind of fucks you, because because you gotta think about it. Your whole life you've been living in the shadow of this person who betrayed your whole entire clan and killed everybody. So now you living strictly for revenge. Like, we have a person, Sasuke Uchiha, lives solely for like avenging his clan, solely for the purpose of killing his brother in part 1. That's all you see Sasuke talk about. That's all you hear from Sasuke. Anytime emotions are truly involved, it's always derived around the boy Itachi. It's never like, you're my best friend, oh I love you. He'll probably like give a snark or like a little smile to Naruto when Naruto does something good or when they like accomplish a mission together. But anytime true emotion is expressed from Sasuke, it's always directed towards Itachi. Like, that shit is probably one of the most critical things in Sasuke's development. Now, upon becoming a Genin, we have Sasuke Uchiha fighting against Rock Lee. Rock Lee wanted to challenge Sasuke because he felt like Sasuke was stealing Sakura from him, because for some reason, everybody had a crush on fucking Sakura. Like, Ino's right there, Hinata's right there. I mean, she's quiet, but she's right there. So, you know, Rock Lee and Sasuke, they're duking it out, right? Sasuke even used his Sharingan to actually witness how fast Rock Lee was. Like, he can predict his movements, but the fact that Rock Lee was so fast that Sasuke couldn't stop him, what could he do? Now, if you think about it, at this time, Rock Lee was kind of handicapped. You know why I say he was handicapped? Because he had his weights on. If you guys remember when he fought against Gaara, he asked Guy Sensei could he take off his weights, something that he usually didn't get the opportunity to do. So he had his weights on the entire time he was fighting against Sasuke, and he was basically still outspeeding Sasuke. But what I'm saying with this fight is, it was a key factor for Sasuke. This later on gave Sasuke the edge he needed. Now, we're going to get into that a little bit later, but right now we're going to talk about what happened during the Chunin exams when they got into the Forest of Death. Sasuke is confronted by Lord Orochimaru. Oh, that was probably one of the most weirdest shits I ever seen in the history of fighting. Like, Orochimaru was basically testing Sasuke to see how strong he was because he had an interest in his eyes. Now, Orochimaru does later on become like a great factor, right? He becomes like this big power that Sasuke later needs to become like a true ninja. He even seeks out this power in order to, you know, defeat Itachi later on in the show. Now, if you remember correctly, the curse mark was given to Sasuke during this time. Now, Sasuke was challenged by the Sound 4. You know, he even like fucked over a couple of people, snapped a couple of guys' arms. After finding out that Sasuke had the curse mark, the boy Kakashi took this man in, basically training him for the finishing factors of the Chunin exams. So we had Naruto training with Jiraiya Sensei, but we had Kakashi training the boy Sasuke. Now, I mean, both of them are pretty good teachers. You know, we have a legendary Sannin training him, but we have a legendary Sannin giving Sasuke basically a handicap power. So once the curse mark is initiated, Sasuke goes rage, and he gets a power boost that most people don't get. But Kakashi basically sealed it up a little bit, and then he took Sasuke into the mountains for training him in the art of Chidori, basically teaching him taijutsu, basically giving him all the key factors that he needed in order to go ahead and fight Gaara in the Chunin exams. So, alright, this was probably one of the saddest things I've got to witness from Sasuke. You know, Sasuke was skilled in taijutsu. He even mastered lightning style and fire style with his ninjutsu skills, and later on he developed a genjutsu, but that's way further in the series. Now, looking at Sasuke, basically in part 1, you know, we watched him learn all these techniques to go against Gaara. He even served like that he was gonna beat the shit out of Gaara. He even thought that he was gonna be the reason Gaara like died, or maybe he would be the one that put Gaara down. But like, Gaara kind of flipped the script on him. But one thing I will say was an accomplishment to him was his taijutsu skills and the fact that he was able to make Gaara bleed. Gaara was one of those people that never let any, like, it wasn't that he didn't want anybody to touch him. Nobody could actually touch Gaara. So it was one of those things where every time somebody tried to touch Gaara usually would snap back, or Shukaku, or even the seal that his mom gave him, basically would like fight back and just like do collateral to them or kill the person. But for Sasuke actually got in there and he used Chidori to push through the earth style or the sand or whatever the fuck you want to call it, ultimately felling to Gaara. That was something that was another focal point in the change in Sasuke. This was probably one of the reasons that pushed Sasuke to leaving the village. Now, the reason why I say that, because Naruto came up and he cleaned up the leftovers. Naruto used his toad summoning jutsu to summon a giant boss toad to fight against a giant Shukaku. He even used transformation jutsu to turn the toad into the nine-tailed fox, as well as fighting Gaara head on and later beating Gaara and telling Gaara that, you know, he's not by himself, he's not alone. This was a changing point for Gaara as well. I'll get into that with another Naruto Ninja breakdown. So that basically made the boy Sasuke completely envious. He felt like Naruto was reaching out further to him. Alright, so we have Sasuke basically chilling at the village while Naruto leaves with Jiraiya, and Jiraiya actually goes off to train Naruto, but quote unquote, because we know Itachi and Kisame is coming to the village to look for Naruto, aka the Akatsuki, because they wanted to get him. Now everybody thought, you know, Naruto was going to train with the Sannin, but the whole purpose of Naruto going with the Sannin was kind of to train, but also to protect him from the Akatsuki. Now Sasuke got a wind of Itachi being in the village. He found that out, and he even went to look for Naruto basically to find out where Itachi was. Now this probably pushed Sasuke over the edge. This probably was the thing that pushed Sasuke over the edge the most. Just watching Sasuke encounter Itachi, and you know, them two basically duke it out and like try to fight, but honestly they didn't really duke it out. My boy Sasuke got fucking handled. I'm talking about he got manhandled, and he just like kind of fucked over him. He even needed Tsunade to heal him, and Itachi even told him, "You're just so weak. You're pathetic. You know, you don't have enough hatred. You know, you gotta foster more." So that basically was the true turning point to Sasuke leaving the goddamn village. Honestly, that was probably the most fucked up shit I've ever witnessed in Naruto history. Like, his brother just fucked over him. Honestly, I just feel bad for Sasuke the whole entire time. Like, every time I watch that scene, I just feel bad for Sasuke. So, you know, we got Sasuke just like, god damn, I can't do anything to my brother. You know, Orochimaru basically let me know about like these powers I could possess. I might as well go with him. So this is when Sasuke truly decides to leave the village, you know, break all ties with Team 7, say fuck the entire village, because at the same time he's the only Uchiha left. Like, he's like, why am I here? All my people gone. You know, it doesn't make no sense for me to be here, and he wants this power in order for him to defeat Itachi Uchiha. So that was like the main factor, on top of seeing Naruto excel and progress a lot further than he had. So him leaving, you know, Naruto going after him, it's something I didn't really talk about in Naruto's breakdown, but I can talk about it here because we talked about both of them. The whole, you know, them two going head to head, and you know, in the end, unlocking his Mangekyo Sharingan, it was something that really was vital to like his entire development. Like that, honestly, that paved the way for Sasuke to get even stronger. I thought it was really fucked up that these two had to fight, but hey, it's the way the story works. And if you look at everything Sasuke learned from Kakashi, you looked at everything he learned from Saratobi as well as his father, and just being at the Ninja Academy, all that shit played hand in hand in this fight in the Final Valley. Like I said, you watch Naruto use everything he learns, Shadow Jutsu, the Rasengan, you know, all that type of stuff. You know, the Taijutsu skills from both of them were all shown in this like final showdown at the Final Valley. So that was something that I thought was rather dope. I was glad to see those two go head to head because they were always in competition with each other, but I didn't like the fact that they had to leave each other, because you know, I'd always wanted to see Naruto and Sasuke take over and become like the top ranked Jonin, but these two were like the only Genin while everybody else were like Chunin and Jonin. So this shit was kind of fucked up. Honestly, I think it was dope to see Sasuke's development in part 1. I'm gonna talk about it for when he goes into Naruto Shippuden, as well as how he goes into Road to Boruto and stuff like that. And just let me know what you thought about today's video. I understand it was a little bit frantic. I'm kind of tilted, you know, not tilted in the point where it's like a bad tilt, but it's like a mixture. I don't know. You ever felt like you were just in limbo? But just let me know how you felt about today's video. Also, don't forget to leave recommendations in the comment section. With that being said, my name is ShinoBeenTrill. Stay true and stay real. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and until next time, see you guys later. Bye.